5, 6, 7, 8.
Troubadour. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Gilmore to Say with Tara and Haley. I'm Tara. This is Haley. Hi, Haley.
Hi, Tara.
Oh, you looked so excited to do that, to give a little queen wave.
A little queen wave. That's what I said when we were watching our last episode of Gilmore Revisited, when I was announcing like the live recap to our Vicious Trollops. I said, the eagle is flying for the last time, which felt, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
It's from Princess Diaries, but I just felt like I was doing like a Julian Andrews.
A little queen wave. A little Abigail Breslin.
Oh, yeah. As Kelly Clarkson plays.
Yes. Oh, Breakaway.
Exactly.
I love the Princess Diaries so much. What a great film. What a great couple films. They're filming the third one.
I know.
Oh, so good.
It's a really big time to be Anne Hathaway. Devil Wears Prada. She's doing Princess Diaries 3. She's also in that new movie with the Colleen Hoover adaptation.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That one. The
Cool.
big Anne Hathaway resurgence.
Good for her.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank you for being here today.
Yes. Thank
Anyway.
you all for being here today. Why we started off
Truly.
this Grant Lee Phillips episode with Anne Hathaway?
I don't know. Who's to say? But the rumors are true. Grant Lee Phillips is here. We had a conversation with him, and it was just, what a darling.
Love
I
him.
Absolutely adore him.
Fan for
and
life.
Truly. And what a special, monumental guest to have as our first actor guest on the podcast.
Well, I think it's because the way that we like to talk about the show is like more from like the other side rather than from like the actor experience.
Yeah.
But he is that one person who has kind of like a foot on each end. The other person being George Bell, who I really want to speak with, who
God,
like
I
worked on
know.
the show, but also is in it. And like, of course, the Troubadour is going to be in it because he's going to be singing. He has some lines, which we talk about. We actually talk more in depth about next week, but we get his perspective, or not next week. What is it? We actually
Thursday.
talk more about it Thursday because we have a specific Troubadour episode about all of his appearances. But in this episode, we get more of his perspective on it, but also what it was like working with Amy on the show. And so I love that that's like where we're starting with still talking to people who worked on the show, but we're also in it.
I know. It's so good.
Love him.
I love him. He has such a calming presence about him. He's so grounded and very well spoken and very intentional with his words. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear this conversation today.
He's also drinking coffee.
He is. It's so
this.
appropriate. I was like, of course you have a cup of
course
coffee.
you are.
Oh, I love it.
Gorgeous.
But before we dive in with Grant Lee Phillips, we have a very special announcement about our next leg of Patreon.
Era, if you will.
Yeah, new era. As many of you know, and we're going to talk about it next week, we just finished covering A Year in the Life on Patreon, which wraps up Gilmore Revisited, which is our recap podcast.
Spoiler-full.
Our recap podcast on Patreon. And it's the end of an era. But we couldn't quite stop talking about Gilmore Girls during Gilmore Girls season.
No.
It was too poetic that
couldn't.
our recap podcast ended on September, like the first week of September.
Yeah.
We couldn't just move on to something else.
I actually have never been able to move on from this show, if you haven't noticed. As it turns out,
Famously,
this is
cannot move
not
on.
something we can move on from. Help, I'm still at the restaurant, still at the diner, if you will.
Yeah.
But I'm here and I'm not leaving anytime soon. And we had to find a new way to continue the conversation of the rewatch. And we would be remiss to miss that during Gilmore Girls season.
Especially the 25th anniversary. Like,
Of course. Oh my gosh. And so we wanted to find a way for our next era of Patreon, to feel like we're really rewatching the episode, that we're binge watching it in a completely different way than we did with Gilmore Revisited, because we tore this show apart. Like, we
quite literally
ripped it apart, like assessed everything about it, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we wanted to change, what made us absolutely break in half because it was so beautiful and gorgeous and monumental, which was a lot of things.
Yeah. But that's not how people normally watch the show. That's not how we've ever watched the show.
It's not how anyone should watch the show. I actually never recommend taking your favorite show
and picking it apart.
Taking notes on every single episode. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It's very fascinating, but we wanted this experience to be more like the way that we all watch this show. Yeah. And what better way to do that than to rewatch the show?
To just watch it.
Last year, I think it was last year, we debuted the Rewatch Club, which is merch that we made, not really anticipating that was going to become the next era of Patreon. So our next era of Patreon is called the Rewatch Club, where we will be rewatching most of the episodes from the series at a more expedited rate. We're not going to release one episode a week, and the format's going to be different.
Yes.
So Haley and I have been recording episodes. We did it when we were together, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The first 8 episodes are me and Tara together in
Georgia in like the heat of June.
We are trying to like embrace fall vibes,
but it is so hot.
Because we had to turn off the air for the sound.
Yeah.
You have to say thank you for that, for the sound quality, because basically what it is, it's DVD commentary. Is like, you're going to watch it with us. We're going to sync our sound. In it, we do a 5, 6, 7, 8 play so that you can start the episode at the same time as us. We do a 5, 6, 7, 8 skip for the intro song because we cannot pay Carole King those rights for every episode. So we skip it, but it's just basically syncing up your watching experience with us, and we're just going to talk. We're just going to chat the whole episode
so that we feel like we're watching it together.
Yeah. If you're like binge watching this season by yourself and you want to feel like your friends are there, just turn on the Rewatch Club, turn on Gilmore Girls when we say to, when we tell you to, and we can watch it together. Yeah. And as we say, we hope that we are not talking over the parts that you talked over the last time.
It's true.
But it's a lot less in depth than Revisited was. Like literally every single detail of that was torn apart. With this one, it's like, we're having a good time. We love that.
Plot twist, and every episode so far is a 10 out of 10.
Every episode. Even episodes that we were like wouldn't rate this super high when we first watched it for Revisited. Now we're like 10 out of 10. This is the best feeling I've ever had. And
I think especially coming from season 7, because that's when we started watching.
We were in the middle of season 7 when we started doing this.
To go back to season 1, it was like, take me home.
Take me home.
Country roads.
Exactly. And it just really did feel like home. I was like emo when we turned on the pilot, because I was like, oh my gosh, these are my girls. These are my girls, not these other girls.
I don't know who these other girls are. Yeah, for sure.
And especially like, speaking of Grant, like when he pops up, I'm like, oh my God, there he is. Hey.
Yeah.
And like having that context is really fun. It's also like having talked to some of the writers too. It's like going through it, like you kind of see things differently.
Totally.
And like, but it's not like Revisited. It is its complete own. I'd say like really upbeat. Like we're having a good time.
Fun. We're having
Nothing
a great
ever
time.
Gets too in depth.
It's very cash. It's very cozy. Haley and I 9 times out of 10 are just wearing like our oversized t-shirts that are likely our merch, and
no makeup.
Like, no makeup.
We're in our beds.
We're literally in bed watching this When Harry Met Sally style. It's incredible and so much fun, and we're having a great time, and we'd love for you to join us. So our Vicious Trollops tier, which is our highest tier on Patreon, they're going to be getting 16 episodes a month, 4 episodes a week, which we know sounds like a lot, but we are all binge watching this show.
Yeah. I mean, like you were going to watch 4 episodes on a Saturday anyway.
Exactly.
So,
and then it will trickle down from there as far as how many episodes get released
for each tier.
Yeah, per tier. We're basically going to be doing about 16 episodes per season. So we're not covering every single episode or rewatching every episode. And then as we get into the later seasons, we're going to cover a few less because,
because it's like 1 through 5. We're doing 16 episodes from each, which were chosen very particularly with like a lot of anxiety and angst going into it. But even as we're continuing on, like, spoiler alert, in season 1 we skip Paris is Burning, and I wish we hadn't, because Tara famously doesn't like it.
I know.
And I want to know if she would like it in this capacity.
Yeah, in this watching it in this context. Totally.
In season 6 we'll cover 12 episodes, and then in season 7 we'll cover 4, and then for the revival we're just gonna rewatch fall. Which you'll hear more of why in next week's episode when we talk about the revival and we do a recap.
Yeah.
But really excited. Every single episode we're talking about how much fun we're having. Like,
it's true.
Like when you put something on your calendar to do, your mind was kind of like, oh, I have something I need to do. And then when you realize you're sitting down to watch Gilmore Girls with your best friends so that your besties on Patreon can join in later, literally
so much fun
feeling.
It's so much fun. And what I love is that with our Vicious Trollops tier, who, you know, get a live episode, a live recording with us every month, we're still going to do that. So there will be an experience if you join our Vicious Trollops tier, if you're already there, where you'll get to watch an episode with us every month. And I think that's so much fun. It adds an extra quality to the Rewatch Club. So we're really excited. And speaking of the Rewatch Club, we are going to be re-releasing that merch this Friday, so that if you would like to, if you haven't already, or if you haven't, you've worn the hell out of it.
I
know, same. Mine is just like...
It's really because I just put it in the dryer and like...
I know.
Shirts like this do need to be like laid flat to dry.
They really do need to be either laid flat to dry or hung.
Yeah.
Instead of being put in the dryer with our designs.
I also wear mine
so
like
intricate.
3 times a week.
I also wear it a lot. Yeah. But if you are in need of a Rewatch Club tee or lightweight crew neck, or you just want to...
the can-shaped glass, which I use all the time.
I know. We should honestly be drinking our bevs out of that for Rewatch Club.
I do sometimes.
You do? I really should be doing that more often.
Yeah.
But if you want, it's going to be re-released this Friday.
If you would like to explore the great indoors.
The great indoors. Yeah,
it's a lifestyle. Exactly. It's a religion.
Yeah.
The Rewatch Club.
Yeah. And if you're a part of our super cool party people tier, there will be a certain amount. We will have more details about how many episodes you are going to receive every week from the Rewatch Club.
Yeah.
So look out for those details on Patreon. And if you're interested in joining us for this, go to patreon.com/Gilmore to say. We're going to have so much fun. www.patreon.com/Gilmore to say.
That's the one.
We're so excited. It's going to be so much fun.
And it starts on September 26th, which is the day we'll be in Ann Arbor.
Exactly. Yeah. If you haven't gotten your tickets
say.
yet, definitely get your tickets to Ann Arbor. They're already starting to sell quick. We have a lot of different events this year, not just the coffee event, which we are still doing, but we have even more fun. There's even more fun
birthday
to be
bash for the 25th anniversary on Friday.
Yeah.
In-person trivia on Saturday night, which I am
so excited.
So like 1 foot sad, 1 foot excited, because I'm like, oh, I think I would slay at this.
Yeah, I want to play.
But I also don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. So we'll be hosting and we will have a great time with all of you there. There's going to be a costume contest on Saturday.
Oh, right.
It's going to be so much fun. We'll have special merch there. There's going to be so much stuff that Rock, Paper, Scissors, because Lisa and Lane are experts at this.
Incredible.
Every detail will have been thought of. There will be yellow daisies and coffee and sweet treats and hopefully you.
Yeah. We'd love to see you there. But yes, that is when the Rewatch Club starts.
Yeah.
It is on Friday, September 26th. And the first 4 episodes of the Rewatch Club will be released that day to the Vicious Trollops
tier. What are the first 4 episodes? Pilot, the Lorelai's first day at Chilton, which recently, I will say, I did a typo on the Instagram. I put the Lorelai's first day at Yale was season 1, episode 2.
Oh, no.
The girlies roasted me.
Well, hey.
I deserved it. But the first 4 episodes are the pilot, the Lorelai's first day at Yale.
No, Chilton.
Oh my gosh, it's hard. Cinnamon's Wake. And then
Rory's birthday parties.
Oh,
it's so much fun.
Time.
We're having a great time. So we hope to see you guys there. But without further ado, let's talk to Grant Lee Phillips.
Let's talk to Grant.
Grant Lee Phillips, welcome to Gilmore to Say. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You're coming to us from Nashville, which is where you live normally. That's like home base for you, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was Los Angeles for many years, but I've been here now since 2013.
Oh, wow. A good long time. And you love it?
I do, yeah. It is one endless bachelorette party, as you may know.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I almost said that to you when we were chatting beforehand. I was like, I've never been to Nashville, but I anticipate at some time in my life I will be there for a bachelorette party.
I've still not been invited to a bachelorette party myself.
Oh, come on.
It's kind of crazy,
well, actually,
right?
I just got engaged. So maybe I'll have my
This is what we
bachelorette
have to
party
do.
in Nashville, and we'll invite you.
Grant.
That would be great. Talk to my agent and we'll set it up.
Perfect. We'll set it up.
That'd be so
I
great.
can't wait.
Yeah. And in a very Gilmore fashion, you have a cup of coffee with you.
I felt like
just a plain black coffee.
Yeah. The darkest black. And I felt like it was appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't talk Gilmore
very on
without
brand.
coffee in hand.
Without a cup of coffee. Absolutely. So before we get into the Gilmore Girls of it all, I think our listeners at home know exactly who you are. You, of course, played the Town Troubadour on Gilmore Girls from 2000 to 2007, and then came back for the revival, which was really exciting. But we'd love to hear a little bit about, before Gilmore Girls, how you got into your music career, what your history with music was, what led you and drew you to want to become a musician.
Oh, wow. Well, for me, it began when I was given a guitar when I was about 13, I guess. And I was already quite a fan of the music that I grew up with, Elton John and the Beatles and you name it, And so when I had the guitar in my hands, I soon began to write songs, and all through high school, that was my interest. And eventually it led to like trying to start bands. And then I moved from Northern California to Los Angeles. And after so many years of kind of beating the pavement, as they say, the band Grantley Buffalo was signed to a small label called Slash, and the next thing we knew, we were on the road, and we were on the road. We were on a plane going to to Europe, and that was my 90s, and it was a busy, exciting time. At the end of that decade, I went off on my own, kind of went solo. And no, I fully went solo. And that was about the time, when I was, Grantley Buffalo had made 4 albums. I was getting, involved with making my solo records. And I got that call from Amy Sherman Palladino, about this show, The Gilmore Girls. And so it was just kind of perfect timing when I was, I was ready to explore something new. And there it was.
How poetic, how perfect, because you were really solo on the show, with the exception of, I think, I spent a lot of time with you this morning on Gilmore Girls, watching all of your scenes and the songs. And when you sang Mona Lisa, you had a band behind you, but it was one of the few, if not the only time on Gilmore Girls that you were not just accompanied by yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think that you're right. Although I can think of one occasion where my nemesis, who I eventually kind of we worked it out, Dave Gruber Allen, and Love Daisies and Troubadours.
Of course,
we played a song together, kind of as a moment of truce, and it was a very sweet moment.
That's true. That's true. So rewinding a little bit, where did this connection to Amy Sherman Palladino come in, and what prompted that phone call? We'd love a little history on that.
Yeah, I can offer my best hunch. My understanding is that she's a big music fan, as you would know from the show. It's there's a great palette of songs and bands that a lot of people would be introduced to in some ways. She and Daniel Palladino, they both had been fans of Grantley Buffalo and had seen me, as I understand, performing solo as well. So they had sort of followed the career in some ways, and that's what ultimately led to this, this inquiry. Are you interested in playing this part? And to my knowledge, it was just that it was going to be a one-shot type of thing, I had no idea that I would wind up, returning as I did, several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was going to be our follow-up question was, what was I was going to ask if there was a testing process, an audition process, but it sounds like it was very offer only.
It was. Yeah. Yeah. There was nothing like that. It's just one of those wonderful, things that falls into one's lap, maybe once in a lifetime,
Yeah.
So I'm quite grateful for that, and totally. And in turn, it was a lot of fun. But it also introduced my music and this, everything I had done before to a very different audience.
Totally.
And it's kind of great.
Yeah. Did you have any acting background? Because you don't just play music on the show. I mean, of course, that is the main gig, right?
Right.
But you had to really, there were a couple episodes where you had lines, you had emotion, you had a lot going on there.
Thank
you
you.
had a story.
Much. I mean,
you were fantastic. So did you have any acting experience, or did they just kind of take a chance on like, oh, this guy can do a lot more than just play?
I appreciate that. I was someone who was involved with local theater. In fact, about that time when I picked up the guitar, I had been performing as a child magician, right? And I was 12 years old. And this was the era of Steve Martin and Robin Williams, and it was a great era in terms of comedy and silliness. And there was a place in Stockton, California, where I grew up, a roadside vaudeville theater where sketches were performed and a play, very big on interacting with the audience, who were very big in interacting with daiquiris and whatever, might be at their table. And fried chicken was at the heart of it. And so that was my early sort of introduction to being on stage and performing in other ways aside from music, So I'm sort of a musician playing an actor playing a musician, or something like that. I'm not sure where it's Ouroboros at this point.
Yeah, it's a little Russian doll.
Yeah.
How did that role, I guess, from that one shot that you thought that it was going to be, how did that expand? Was that just Amy being like, okay, now you're going to come back for another day?
Yeah.
Or was there a conversation about it?
I don't believe there was a real conversation. It was just sort of like, are you available next week? Are you available next month? And we always, prioritize any opportunity to be on Gilmore Girls, and juggling tour dates and my availability. It just kind of blossomed in that fashion, I guess. They would give me a call, and one of the producers would ring me and say, "We have a scene coming up." They would describe the scene. Anything spring to mind in terms of song selection, because, they were also kind of looking at me for songs that I had written, which is incredible. And it's amazing how many times that really linked up, where a song I had in my back pocket and a scene. Well, for instance, we had gone how many years without any Gilmore Girls, and then along comes the reunion show. And I was cast to be in the winter episode. And so we talked about that. Do you have any songs about? It's like, well, I do have a song that I wrote a few years back. I recorded it. I never really released it in a wide way. It's called Winter Glow. And it was just kind of just ready-made for that scene, So I just love that. It seems like there was a lot of serendipity that occurred with Gilmore Girls,
That was going to be my next question, was what the collaboration process was like. Because as I was talking to you a little bit about before we started recording, as we watched this show with a more, we watch it for enjoyment, for comfort, and we have since, we were little ladies. But in watching it with a more fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass, we found that so much of your lyrics really aided in the storytelling, especially between Lorelai and Rory. Yeah. And we were just really curious what that collaboration process was like. And it sounds like they really did look to you to have songs in your back pocket already, things you had written, things you had produced that had lyrics that would aid in the storytelling. So was that really how it went down? Or did Amy say, I really want you to play this song. I love this song.
Well, that was certainly the case as well. There were plenty of times where Amy reached out and said, I would like to use Honey Don't Think, which is good, it's kind of a romantic song. It's a personal song, relationship kind of song, or any number of songs, Mockingbirds. And could we do that for this scene? So she would approach me, about that quite a few times as well. And, those are songs that I wrote. There were also interesting covers now and then. Be True to Your School.
I love that one. That was one of my favorite ones. I love it.
It is interesting. You were talking about like the introduction of a lot of these songs in your music to a younger audience, and like just the popularity just keeps growing, and the expansion of the audience is like skewing younger. That there's songs that you covered that when I heard the original version, I was like, this isn't how it goes. This isn't who sings this.
That's really
that
great.
like growing up with you, I was like, no, the Town Troubadour plays this.
That's great.
What is who's this? Who is this person?
That's so great. Well, it's wild to think a song like that. I mean, that came out in the 60s. It's just,
I know.
It's like listening to ancient folk songs, but
yeah, of course. Yeah. So I was curious about the cover songs, because was that a situation where you said, you know what, I don't really have a song that goes with this scene, so maybe let's choose a song that I can cover that goes a little bit better hand in hand with this scene?
Well,
how was that decided?
That's like another tier of of choices. I mean, in the case of Be True to Your School, I don't know where the choice to come up with Wake Me Up Before You Go came from, or Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard. There were a few. There was one, do you remember the episode where I believe Lorelai was thrown into jail?
Rory was thrown into jail.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're talking about Mama Tried.
Yeah,
and
so I said,
love that moment.
I grew up listening to Merle Haggard. My dad loved Merle Haggard. And so I said, what about Mama Tried? What do you think about that? And they were, let me run that up the flagpole. And it was great. It was for me, perfect. It was kind of like I got to perform at least one verse of one of my favorite songs. And
I love that.
Speaking of the flagpole, were there any that ever got rejected?
I'm not certain. I mean, we always had like a few options, I guess, but some just sort of seem like, that seems like an obvious choice. Probably, but I can't remember what those were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always that kind of, that great rapport and, funny how many times, so it just seemed to make sense though.
Yeah, it really does. Maybe Wake Me Up Before You Go was the only one that I was like, is this about death? Because it was like in response to Luke's uncle has passed away, and the girls are trying to help him, and it's in between. Your cover of that is a transition in between Lorelai finding out and Lorelai and Rory walking through town talking about how Luke's uncle died. And it's like, wake me up before you go. I'm like, all right.
Oh.
Wow. I think this is a song about death.
I never thought of it
but
that
I
way.
don't die.
Yeah.
Before you go,
it was very interesting. Before you go, go. Yeah.
Before you go. Ah.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Makes you think.
But for the most part, I totally agree that, as we, again, started to watch this show with a more fine-tooth comb, we realized how much the lyrics of the songs you were singing, whether they were covers or your own music, really narrated what was going on within the girls' lives so well. And more times than not, if not all times, you were really there to be the narration of Lorelai and Rory, not really anybody outside of their world. Was that a conversation with you and Amy?
No. But not inaccurate at all, though. I think that's an interesting observation. It's true. It's an extension of their inner dialogue or something like that. In the way that Sam Phillips also creates this whole other tapestry.
Totally.
Yeah, and I feel like my music and all of the great music that Sam brought to the show, and and even the great Carole King song at the top,
Of course.
Pretty good company there. And
a
huge delight for me was when the town was flooded by, budding troubadours arriving at the steps of Stars Hollow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Love. That's actually Haley's favorite episode. Partings.
Is it? It's so surreal and insane. It's like a weird fever dream that actually happened.
Yeah. And the lineup there, incredible performers.
Oh yeah. The fact that you've got Sonic Youth wandering the streets.
Wandering Stars Hollow. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Sonic Youth, so I was quite enamored.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of Sam Phillips, that's another one that's really fun, is that you are more of the forward-facing musician in the show, that hers is more just as music is heard, but she gets to step in and be a troubadour in that episode, which is really cool.
You talked about with Louise Goffin in the later episode?
Yeah. No, in Partings.
In Partings, I think Sam Phillips comes in and she is standing there with her guitar.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, there's
so
a few
cool.
times where she actually comes out of the shadows there.
I know.
She's a very mysterious
no relation.
woman.
No relation, right? Have you guys worked together outside of the spectrum of Gilmore
Well,
Girls?
we're great friends. We're not related.
Good.
But we are great friends, yeah. And her husband, Eric, and I, Eric Gorfain, we've worked together a whole bunch and everything. In fact, you'll hear him and his violin and his arrangements on several of my recordings. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a small world and just a great group of friends.
Yeah. So speaking of, writing music and of course you have a new album coming out this year, or this month, it's just come out. When this episode airs, was there anything that you wrote for Gilmore Girls? Were there any songs that you were like, oh, I'm writing this with this show in mind, or songs that maybe made an appearance on the show that never made it to albums?
Yes. There was one, there was a song called Pre-Owned Heart, sort of a
I
nutty
love that
country song.
Me too.
And that was one that, has never really been released into the wild before, with the exception of Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a full-length version of it that, I've demoed, but it's never been put out in the world. Are there others? What
about Smile?
That's another one. That is another one. That was featured on the album, the soundtrack, right? The CD.
The soundtrack, yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of like that, certain things are kind of just part of that universe.
It just exists there. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great thing. There was another one that was performed by, oh goodness, I was going to say by Dean, but it's not by Dean. It's by you might know. It was another song. What's the big sensation? What's the new? I can't remember it.
Oh,
Zach.
Yes,
he plays What's the Big Commotion?
What's the big commotion? It was just a very kind of off the cuff.
Him and Mrs. Kim are writing a song together.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you write that?
Yeah, I wrote that. Oh. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wait, that's so cool. We were just talking about that when we revisited season 6, that we were like, where do we think this song came from? And it came from you.
Yeah,
wow.
We were talking we were up at Union City in Canada a couple of years ago about that. And
very cool.
Yeah. That's right. It was Zach. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you write a song like that, are you writing like from you, or are you like kind of stepping into like what that character's style might be?
Yeah, I think in that case,
with a song
it was
like that.
Sort of like what I felt would be appropriate.
Yeah.
Every now and then I get involved in trying to write for someone else. It doesn't happen a great deal, but there's a little bit of that, trying to imagine, their voice and the attributes and their essence.
Yeah.
Which can go really, horribly awry, presenting your song as here's what you sound like to me. Here's what, like, it could be flattering or not.
Totally.
So,
but I guess in this case you have the distance of this is your character.
Right.
This is nothing like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little safety.
Yeah. And goodness, I'm realizing that, the tree, the sort of family tree of the musical family tree of Gilmore Girls, you've got, it's pretty broad, isn't it? When you mention
totally.
Lane's band, and
Yeah,
that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other
No, the way that
Sebastian.
Amy, I know,
Sebastian,
love him.
Yeah.
And the way that they incorporated, both Amy and Dan incorporated the just music into the show is so important. And it really sets the tone of the entire series.
Oh, yeah. I think that's true. It's a big part of it. It's funny. I mean, I grew up listening because I grew up watching television shows that had great theme songs and where music was part of that, was part of the thing. And it seems like that kind of went away for a period. But, with Gilmore, you had that,
It was all right there.
Yeah, I never felt
really
the
set
need
the
to
temperature
kind of
for the show.
jump ahead, skip ahead,
Yeah.
No. And there are
skip intro.
There are moments of silence that, where the dialogue really has to speak for itself and there's no underscore, right? But there are so many moments that are made because of the score that's underneath it, whether it's you, Sam Phillips, another band, XTC, who sings Then She Appeared, when Jess and Rory have like their first kiss as a couple, is one that I hear.
Watched that a lot.
I've watched it. My 12-year-old me loved that scene. 33-year-old me also loves that scene. But I hear that song and I'm like immediately put in the world. And that is how I feel when I listen to your music. Because I'll listen, your songs are on playlists of mine and other people's have built a Stars Hollow playlist because it makes us feel like we're a part of the story.
Right.
And I love that. I don't think there's really been a show like that in a long time where music is so woven into the storyline that you can hear a song and immediately feel like placed down into that world.
Right. Yeah. That's really true. I have to imagine that lots of people were introduced to artists through Gilmore Girls, through that use of music that they might have not discovered otherwise, because I mean, there's a long list of artists that I still have to kind of do a deep dive on because it was so extensive, the music placement.
Yeah. And I think in terms of like uniqueness of music, it's very unique that your role as well, that like, I feel like, I don't know another show where we have this like troubadour who's like, for all intents and purposes, like communicating an inner dialogue between characters. But what I was interested in is who you thought the town troubadour was to this town, like within the narrative. Like, why did this town troubadour choose Stars Hollow? What were they doing there? They clearly had a very strong conviction about what a troubadour should be based on Love Daisies and Troubadours. Like, who did you see this character as?
Well, it was baked into the script. There's an eccentricity to the character that Amy and Dan created. And I feel like I kind of like I zoomed in on that and. I would often comment that it seems like the troubadour is really worked up here, like really like woke up on the wrong side of the bed. What am I projecting that is giving you that inspiration? Really? Do I complain like that? I don't complain like that. I don't complain like that. I know we don't. But wait a minute, I'm doing it. I got a kick out of that. If it was like kind of this troubadour is encroaching on my turf, or or a bone to pick with Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Judas. Stuff like that. I feel like a lot of times when a show will take that leap and involve music, they are quite often, it seems like the choice has been made to sort of, to utilize something that's instantly recognizable. There's a certain cachet with songs that are on the radio, for instance, at that very moment. They're climbing up the charts, they're being pushed by the labels. And so it seems like kind of a slam dunk in a way, in terms of the choices, and everyone can pat themselves on the back that we that we licensed this song for this show. But that really wasn't the case. It was all driven by Amy and Dan kind of saying, this is what we want. This is what is right for this show. And I think that extends beyond the music. I mean, there are references and to characters and literary figures and all sorts of things that move so fast that you have to have a clipboard sometimes. Go, what is that? Google that. What is that? Oh, and then it's another rabbit hole. But kind of fantastic. Completely. If that went past a group of folks that had to kind of sign off and, well, we're not sure that people are going to get the Dorothy Parker reference, or the, why do we have this song in here? What? and I love it that she really just sort of pulled off a great coup and defied all of that and said, because it's going to be in there because it has to be in there, and man,
absolutely.
I was on the great receiving end of that. So I'm quite grateful.
Yeah, I feel like everyone we've spoken to who's been a part of this show, whether it was behind the scenes or on screen, has said the same thing.
Oh, really?
Just has said that they felt so lucky to be a part of a show that was as smart and creative and intentional as the way Amy and Dan made it, whether that was in the references, the clothing, the music, the ambiance. So
yeah.
I love hearing that everybody kind of across the board felt that way.
I got to choose my own clothing as well.
Yes. Oh.
I
way.
dressed myself. Yeah.
Wow.
So I still own.
There was a jacket I was going to ask. There was a jacket you wore that felt very particular to you and your character. Do you still have that?
I do. It's in the closet around the corner.
Great.
I might have to
You should have worn it.
Go grab it and everything.
Something else that a lot of people who have been a part of the show has said is that this show took a lot of takes, that it was shot after shot after shot to get word perfect, to get it exactly where Amy wanted it to be. What was your role in that, and having to be a part of these takes? Was that something that you loved, or was that something that was exhausting?
It could be a little exhausting, sure, for instance, that scene for Love, Daisies, and Troubadours was one of the first ones I had done, and this is where it's the whole town is gathered in the kind of the town hall or something like that, Miss Patty's dance studio, I believe.
Yeah,
and but those kinds of shots, they took forever. So you're on set at 5 a.m, and I'm kind of new to this, right? And I'm giving my all. I'm putting every bit of passion into my lines.
Yeah.
I've learned my lines. 7 a.m, I'm giving it everything, not realizing that in all likelihood, my particular shot when the camera's really on me, that won't be until about 2 a.m. the next day. We're still in there. And at that point in time, most of the cast has gone. And there's a chair, and I'm delivering those lines to a chair, and and
oh my God,
yeah, still trying to pull a little bit of voice out of me.
Yeah, of course.
But but a very wonderful Sally Struthers commented at about 7 that morning, you have great staying power, and thank you. I'm thinking I'm gonna nail this in about a half an hour. No, maybe 10 hours after that, or more.
Oh my gosh!
So it was challenging, and you don't want to be the one who goofs, and trips up, because it's like a high wire act where everything moves in tandem, and the camera is following all of this stuff, and it goes from here and it picks up this person, and so there's a lot of that for me where I'm in the shot. But I'm kind of out of focus. I'm over there, but I'm strumming.
Totally.
But I'm walking and strumming, and I'm in time, and I'm singing. But I'm not, because if I do, in reality, then it will interrupt the dialogue. So,
that's so true.
That's the act. Turns out that's what acting is as well.
I know.
You're just pretending to play.
It's a lot of pretending and hitting your mark, and but it was really a lot of fun though.
Yeah. Was hitting your mark, was that something new? Because I know that in the lore of the beginning of the show, that Alexis was so new that Lorelai, or Lauren rather, was having to guide her to her mark, because that's not something she was familiar with.
Wow.
Was that something that you were took a couple tries to get right?
Yeah, for me the challenge was sometimes a song, has a certain tempo, and then there's walking that has a certain tempo, and trying to kind of divide that in my head so that can you just strum a little bit slower, walk a little bit faster? I was it's a little bit of that type of thing.
Yeah, that's literally what I was just about to say. Yeah.
And of course you do it, but weird things like that.
Totally.
But no, I mean, I think I managed. I think I could remember. I mean, I could still remember like maybe forgetting my line, once and it was always the kind of thing. It wasn't like where you had a whole bunch of words. It's like you got 3 lines. You got 2 words rather, and there's so much writing on that. So all the anxiety that you would typically spread about a larger scene gets invested in that word or two, and then it comes time you go it's awful.
Now, did you perform live ever? I know that there were some on the show. Was there ever a moment where like they really captured you? Be True to Your School is the one that comes to mind first.
Yeah, I would say, well, always. I was always performing when the camera's on me and it's and you hear and you see me playing. I think most of the time every time I did it for real. Sometimes you might have a situation where a plane flies over though.
Of course,
a lot. So and or just there was a problem with the audio. So in that case, we'd have to do ADR. I have to go back in and I have to kind of play in sync with myself so that we could have the good audio. But no, I was always doing. Sometimes what we would do would put an earbud in, a little hearing aid, and so I would hear the song, so I would be in rhythm with it. So when I came in, I'm going to be in rhythm, but I'm playing to a version that I've already cut in a studio, so it's me.
Okay.
And then I'm playing to that, and then they go. I know when I sense the camera, then I'm going to start singing. And then I'm going to stop, but I'm going to keep on strumming. There's a lot of like, you had to really think through that stuff. And we got good at it, though.
Of course.
figuring out how to do it. But But by and large, I think we often were able to keep the
live recording,
what they call the production audio of being on the set.
Love, That's as I was watching today. I was trying to like get a sense. I was like, does this feel studio? This feels live. I think it's live.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not.
And sometimes I would like, well, I got to recreate this audio now because there was a plane that, flew in. So I'm going to go in my backyard with the microphone and create that kind of, sounds like I'm kind of on the street, because I am. And, I do that as well. Smart. But they have a million techniques for doing that kind of stuff. And it's probably just gotten better these days,
I'm sure.
My dog got frightened because I hear it's thundering out here. We've got a nice
there's rain passing through, moving to the east.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. The poor dogs, between the fireworks and the thunder.
I know. Oh, yeah. A lot of my friends had to go home early on 4th of July because they were like, I have to be home with my dog.
Yeah.
And I understand because that has to be so scary. You don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's very scary for the little guy.
For the pups.
Oh, no.
I get it.
Did you have a favorite moment from set that like I know it was a lot of choreography and a lot of like really having to think about what was going on, but do you have a favorite song or like a favorite line that you got to be a part of or seen?
Well, I think the Love Daisies and Troubadours was a great moment, where I tell Dave Gruber Allen, you're not supposed to manage a Kinko's, it's about integrity. And I love that, or the idea that, this troubadour character would be offended, by throwing your filthy money in my guitar case. This is my art. This is my passion.
Exactly.
But the theater of living arts was quite fun. It was a lot of work for everyone getting that makeup on. We brought The Last Supper to life, and then Kirk and I had it out.
Oh, I loved it.
As you
and that makeup was really fantastic because that was the only Emmy that the show won for makeup. And it was so cool. But that was also, I think, one of the only episodes where you didn't sing at all. You were truly there as an actor.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Which is cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they were like, the Town Troubadour is here, but he's not the troubadour right now. He is Judas.
Right.
He's a part of the town.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think they roped in everyone they could and everything who was willing to wear that makeup. And I had it easy. I didn't have to wear a toga or anything like that. Like
right.
Some of them did. And it was it got mightily cold out there.
Oh, I imagine.
I'm sure.
The hills of Burbank.
Did. Yeah. So after Gilmore Girls, or while Gilmore Girls was going on, did you get recognized a lot as the Town Troubadour? Did you have people show up to your shows, who were Gilmore Girls fans?
Yeah. It is, and it's still the case. I love that. A few generations of fans now. Folks like yourself who grew up with it. And then it's not uncommon that a person who was a fan of Grantley Buffaloes or of mine, and then their child is a fan of Gilmore Girls, and now that continues on, because of this wild phenomenon, where
yes, the show is so popular. We're, as I'm sure it's 25 years, the 25th anniversary, which is so wild to think about, and it's more popular than it's ever been. The legacy lives on, which is really, really cool.
It is. And I tour, I'll be going out in September, October, November onward, in the US, overseas, and I meet Gilmore Girls fans all over the world. Great.
Love. That's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So you are going out on tour this year because your new album, In the Hour of Dust, is being released on September 5th. By the time this episode airs, it will have been released. We're so excited. We did get to hear a little bit of it. We got a little sneak preview.
Great.
What are you most excited for Gilmore Girls fans to hear, or in general for people to hear about this album?
Oh, goodness. I'm excited to share it with everyone. There's a couple of singles that have been floating around. She Knows Me is one of them. Just really, there's a side to this record that's like a lot of my albums that's more intimate. I recorded a part of it at home, kind of as I was writing it. And then I took it out to LA and I recorded with some great musicians out there. So it's a good balance of both of those environments. But yeah, it's a very sort of personal record. I think it's a timely album in terms of invoking some of the feelings and anxieties, perhaps, that come along with being a citizen of this country and the world, for that matter. These are strange times, and music can be a way of kind of finding a little bit of equilibrium. Sometimes it's a means of escape, but I think it's also a means of kind of processing some of these things,
Yeah, and I think it can also be an anchor, especially
good word,
because I also think that, to bring in the Gilmore Girls of it all, we turn to that show oftentimes for comfort and nostalgia. And even upon just pressing play on the first song in your album, Little Men, I instantly was like, there he is. That's the Town Troubadour.
Yeah.
And there's something really special about feeling like you're also kind of ushering us and carrying us through these times, through your music, which still feels like you. It still feels very nostalgic.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, the character of the Troubadour, going back to our earlier talk, it is kind of, it's along the lines of the folk musician, who is kind of like the town crier, or being able to in some way touch upon, encapsulate, underscore everything that's going on. In this case, it's the universe of Stars Hollow, but I think there is a truth to that, and you find it in throughout history with people like Woody Guthrie, who I'm a fan of, or all the people that inspired me growing up, Dylan, Neil Young. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sing the headlines of the day to achieve that. It can be a matter of just, I don't know, throwing it all into the emotional blender and putting it out there in that way, you know.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel that of you, because like if we're to relate it to the Town Troubadour of being in Stars Hollow, like to project that out into our real world, I feel like that role, you assume that quite well, especially because of the balance that you achieve on the album with like songs like Little Men and Bullies, but also with She Knows Me, which is about your wife. Yeah. So I think that there's this beautiful balance that you're also reminding people of to have, that like we can have these deep bad feelings about the world around us while also coming home to some of the most beautiful things that we have.
Yeah, like you said, like an anchor, you know. I think it's it's a really important thing to hang on to that. You know, the people in your life and those things that bring you joy and you know, and keep you invested, and you know, hope, and these things are not without merit and meaning. They're, you know, it's what we fight for, you know.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. We noticed that there's no title track on the album. So how did you land on the title to kind of pull all of these tracks together?
Yeah. The title of the album, I had written this title down years ago, not knowing it was going to be the title of my album. I was in Pasadena at the Norton Simon Museum of Art, and there was a great painting, maybe from, you know, the 1500s, from India, and it was called In the Hour of Cow Dust. And I thought, that's kind of cool. Ooh. You know, I wrote it down, put it in my phone, you know, and a memo. And, you know, over the last couple of years, I have gotten deeper and deeper into painting, especially landscape painting. It kind of like, it kind of overtook me during the pandemic as something to stay sane. And now I'm fully obsessed, and there was a particular art movement at the end of the 1800s, American tonalism, that was preoccupied with that particular hour of twilight, you know, kind of as a metaphor, but also just the beauty of that hour as well, you know, kind of a, you know, a metaphor for a shifting of the ages. And, you know, maybe a certain amount of foreboding, some hope, some anxiety. This is on the heels of the American Civil War, and so In the Hour of Dust is sort of like, it's kind of a way of tapping into that symbolism, I guess. You know, a change, a shift, preparing ourselves for, you know, challenging times. In India, the hour of cow dust is when the cows are led home, and in doing so, they kick up all the dust in the air, and the lanterns are lit, and, you know, everyone prepares themselves for the night, you know. And I thought that was kind of beautiful as well. So that's, you know, at some point in time, I was like, I had this painting that I had done, and I was looking at that and trying to decide what to call that painting, and I recalled that other. You know, that other painting that I mentioned, and it just made sense. Wow, this is the name of the album. It tied in with a lot of the songs, as, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I especially like the idea that you were talking about of like preparing for night, to have a song, Did You Make It Through the Night Okay? Yeah. That was one that I really loved.
Cool.
So I loved that kind of, I guess, that answer to the title.
Did You Make It Through the Night Okay is a song that was inspired by, I took a class on the language of the Muskogee Creek. I'm an enrolled citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation. I took a class to learn some of the basics of the language, and I discovered this phrase, which basically translates, "Did you make it through the night okay?" Estongan Jaghayadiga is how it's said. And but there's no word for good morning in the Muskogee language, but there is this great sort of phrase, and I love that. It's kind of humorous in a way, you know. Did you make it through the night okay? And it's like, wow, that seems very appropriate.
I guess. I mean, I'm here.
Appropriate for the times, you know. And,
absolutely.
And so I kind of like, you know, use that as a jumping off point, I guess, for the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. And it's been a crazy time. We had I live in Nashville, and you live in down south here as well. We had the Northern Lights like about a year ago.
Yeah.
We never get the Northern
What
Lights.
was that?
I don't know. What's next? The Rockettes? I don't know. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's really nice to have music, art, etc. really bring us together. And like I said, anchor us during these times because they can feel very isolating.
Yeah, that's so true. It is really true. I mean, it's a great thing that we're connected in this way, through technology, but that can also be kind of like an isolating thing sometimes as
Absolutely.
well. You feel a little left out sometimes, like these people are having a lot of fun here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of having a lot of fun and, stepping out of isolation, and thankfully we can do those things now that the pandemic has come to at least a slowdown, if not an end. You'll be going on tour this fall. Where can people see you and, hopefully maybe meet other Gilmore Girls fans who will also be in the audience at your shows?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Go to GrantleyPhillips.com under the tour tab, and all of it is listed there. I have some dates this month of September back east, New York, Philadelphia, and Boston. But there's a whole bunch of them in the U.S. and there will be more that are listed in the months to come. And then some dates overseas as well.
Great.
England. And
anyone you're particularly excited for?
Yeah, is there a place that you love to play?
Goodness.
Just like love to play.
I don't want to exclude anyone. I love all of them.
You're not excluding anyone.
I go to some pretty amazing places. I have to admit, and sometimes I only have but a day, so it's kind of like it's like a sampler, like Paris for a few hours. That's enough time to have a sandwich,
like the title
play
of
a
an
show.
album.
Have a croissant.
Have a croissant.
Wave to the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
Say bonjour.
So, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of great places, and I understand there's a lot of Gilmore events as well that are happening too. I've participated in one of them, and it was wonderful to meet everybody up in that was in Canada a couple of years ago. But come out to the shows.
Yeah. I hope to make it to the one in New York. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Do you know where you're playing off the top of your head?
City Winery.
City Winery.
Oh.
Yeah.
Our first live event was at City Winery in New York when we did our first live show for the podcast. We love it there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice setting.
If I can go, I'd love to.
Well, come on down.
Perfect.
I would love to accommodate. It'd be great.
Yeah.
But your album coming out in fall feels so perfect for what we call the start of Gilmore Girls season, that as people step into their regular lives, if they want to have a troubadour guiding them through, here is your album perfect for them, delivered right at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm a fall kind of person, I guess. I'm wearing my fall colors.
As are we. Perfect. As am I. I love it. It's very Luke of you to show up in a little bit of a flannel-esque type shirt today. So before we let you go, as we mentioned, Gilmore Girls is in its 25th anniversary era. Wow. We're so excited to celebrate it this year. It's a huge milestone. Quarter century crisis, or whatever they call it. Quarter life crisis. We're asking people what they think the legacy of Gilmore Girls is, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, goodness. What is the legacy of Gilmore Girls? I would say that Gilmore Girls has it's a vehicle for goodness and for growing and connections, Yeah. I mean, it definitely there is a great significance for mother-daughter relationships,
Yeah.
But it in a very deft, wonderfully subversive way, it gets to some very meaty issues, generational things,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Pretty fascinating in that way, That's something that's lighthearted and moves along so quickly can stick with you, you know, it can resonate, you know. But I would say on the whole, it's just, you know, it is a source of goodness. Yeah.
Yeah,
if I
totally
had to
agree.
boil it down, it's a place that I'd like to go to and do go to.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people appreciate that, you know, some kind of having a place like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you do go to are you a rewatcher of Gilmore Girls? Have you watched it?
On occasion,
since?
yeah, definitely. It's hard not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right
We
there.
agree.
It's right there.
agree.
Exactly. It's incredible. I have a 17-year-old daughter. She's seen it. She hasn't totally came to that point where she wants to. I think it's a weird idea to have your father walk across the flat screen still, you know?
Yeah, totally. Usually for us, it's just in the middle of the living room, not on the screen.
Yeah, I'm doing that
When Dad
anyway,
walks through. Yeah,
Exactly. That's
I love
fun.
that.
Well, hopefully one day she will, you know, wrap herself up in it a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, if not, she's got the real thing right there.
That's the real
that's
thing.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's true. Well, Grant, thank you so much for being here with us today. It was such a joy to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm really
great to
excited
talk
about
with you
your
both.
album.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, your album and your tour, your upcoming tour.
Yeah.
I'm sure many people who are listening will check it out, whether they're listening or whether they're able to attend one of your shows.
That'd be great. Come on out. Yeah.